and our olive oil. When I do dishes like this where I'm not doing any cooking, I like to use my best olive oil. This is an unfiltered extra virgin olive oil. It comes from Greece. And we just want to give that a nice little mix. See how that starts to look very springish in colors. Let's take a look at what's going on in our grill. Flank steak's looking wonderful. Our vegetables are looking fabulous. I think I'll plate up some of those vegetables. I've got eggplant, we've got yellow squash and green squash. They cook up really quick. They become nice and tender. And finally, our leeks. Going to let our flank steak go for another minute. And I'm going to make a little bit of sauce to put on these vegetables. I have some garlic and some ginger and 3 basic ingredients that are going to be our liquid ingredients. We have some soy sauce. Try and get soy sauce that comes out a little bit faster. A little bit of sesame oil. And some cider vinegar. Again, we put a little pepper, dash of salt, and I have a couple of garlic cloves. Actually, for this, I'll just use 2, and a nice little piece of ginger. It's not too terrible to leave the ginger unpeeled as long as it's clean on the outside. We're going to fish out the ginger and the garlic if you'd like. I'm just giving a quick little peel because we're doing this so quickly that I'm going to cut this ginger up so that it marinates much quicker than if I let it steep in here for an hour or so. So I'm just cutting some nice little ginger slices. Take our garlic, give it a little smash, and I'm just going to cut that in a couple of coarse little pieces and put that into our dipping sauce. Give that a little stir. And let's take a look at our flank steak. I think we're just about good with that. Flank steak's looking wonderful. Folks, when you cook beef, you need to let beef sit for a couple of minutes before you cut it. The best way for us to check to see if beef is done is to use an instant read thermometer. We do the same thing with chicken, with all kinds of other meats. We can even use instant read thermometers for bread. What I do is I slip the instant read thermometer in, and I can get a reading to see exactly what's happening inside without disturbing the seal of the meat. This is a very, very thin shaft, so while it makes a little bit of a hole and some juice will come out, it kind of seals itself back up. I want to let that sit for a minute or so before I do anything with cutting it. And I want to get back out our chicken and ribs and take a look at that, and we can start to plate up some of this good food. These ribs get very, very tender. You can almost go down and start to pull the bones out. I want to take our ribs and just slice down. See, the knife just glides right through these. They're so tender, the meat is literally falling off the bones. If I forget my knife, I can literally just rip them apart. Our chicken is generally just as tender. We split away the skin, and these legs and thighs will just pull right off the chicken. You can see just how tender and succulent and juicy that meat is. That's the real secret of barbecue. That's what barbecue is all about. It's about getting meat that literally falls off the bone because it's cooked so long and so slow that all the fats and juices inside tend to just melt right through the meat. I want to split the breast off. And again, you can see how that just pulls right apart. You can see remnants of the Cajun barbecue. There's some of that Cajun barbecue with some of the chicken juice. That is not an indication that it's undercooked. I've checked this with an instant read thermometer and it's cooked perfectly. I want to serve up a little of that salsa with our chicken and our ribs. Let's take a look at our flank steak. Switch knives from the chicken back to the beef, and we want to start to slice up our flank steak and see how that's looking. Nice juice coming out of the flank steak. Our grilled vegetables. Put some of that sauce we made, which is really a dressing. Attracting a million flies outside here. They love this type of thing with vinegar. So whenever you're doing a bunch of outdoor stuff and you're going to be using acidic ingredients, get a little net or something to cover the top. That's perfect. Our sauce, which remember we said is our Carolina mop sauce for our ribs and chicken. And a little bit over our chicken. We're attracting air traffic and flies and everything with this good cooking. So folks, today we did barbecue and we did grill. We started off with our slow-cooked ribs and our chicken. We made a little bit of avocado and tomato salsa, our nice Carolina-style mop sauce. We grilled up a flank steak and we had some grilled leeks, eggplant, green squash, yellow squash, and our Asian dressing, which again had very few components to it but will really spice things up. I'm David Martone from Classic Thyme Cooking School. This is Cooking Time. Thank you for joining us today. Please go out and enjoy your grill and your barbecue. Things will be great all summer long. You'll be cooking up a feast. Thank you.